Hey everybody, and welcome back to the board meeting. Today we're doing a board game rambling video, and if you watch any of these board game rambling videos, it's just me going about rambling on about some specific board game topic, board game related thing that's been on my mind for the last day or two that I feel like talking about. And it's kind of like just a stream of consciousness sort of video where I just talk and talk and talk until I'm done talking. It's usually short videos, maybe not. Today's topic is going to be about people hating on certain board game companies and board games in general. And I'm going to be talking about Stonemaier Games, but it's happened to other companies and games as well. And one particular time that I remember last year is when Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition came out. Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition got kickstarted, and I was one of the people who kickstarted it. Before the Kickstarter people received their copy of the game, it got released in Target, like 3 weeks before the Kickstarter people got theirs. And a lot of the people who backed it on Kickstarter, not myself, really hated that. They did not like that. They showed their displeasure. They talked a lot of crap, basically. They went on the Ares Expedition BGG page and rated those games 1. Rated that game a 1 before they ever played the game because they were so distraught about other people receiving their game before them when they were the ones who kickstarted it to make the game sort of possible. I didn't care too much. I mean, they were different versions of the games, but yeah, they tanked their ratings with just rating those games once, and that's happened with a bunch of like Stonemaier games as well. There are people who rate Wingspan and Scythe and Viticulture ones, and by no means are any of those games ones, because I mean I've rated 1,000 so games or something like that, and I think I've rated like one or two games a 1, and those are basically just unplayable pieces of junk. They're not even games, so they're not ones in my opinion. But yeah, I just want to talk about Stonemaier and some of the reasons why people hate them. But I don't want this to all be hate, so I want to talk about. I want to finish with some of the reasons why people love Stonemaier. And before I get into all of that, my personal opinion of Stonemaier is I generally like Stonemaier games, or I like the company even. There are 3 or 4 Stonemaier games that are in my top 100. So there's a few that are really upper echelon games, but there's also ones that I don't really like that much. Euphoria being one of them that I didn't really like that much, but it's not a big deal. It's whatever. Uh, but so let's go into some topics why I think some people don't like Stonemaier games. While my dog just walks around in the kitchen. Excuse that. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I had to go play with a dog. Needed my attention. Uh, but I was going to get into a couple of reasons why I think people start hating on Stonemaier games, from what I can tell. And the first reason is something that I can understand why people are kind of upset about, and that's because they don't think the games are play tested enough before they are released. Because some games that are Stonemaier games that have factions, they don't think that they are balanced well enough. Mainly Scythe and Tapestry. So there's some factions that are better or are maybe just easier to play with, to do better with. But Jamie Stegmaier has come out with erratas, or whatever they are called, where he kind of fixes that problem and uh, rebalances them to make them more even. And my gaming group, we don't even pay attention to those erratas because I don't think we really care that some of the factions are not super balanced. And I'll tell you why. It's because, like, say we're playing a 7-player game of Scythe, and 5 of us have played Scythe quite a bit, and 2 people are less familiar with Scythe, or maybe have not even played Scythe altogether. We will give those players the better factions, or the factions that are easier to do well with, because then it kind of balances that out. And I like that, actually, because we want everybody to be competitive, and me especially, I want people who are new to the game to be competitive as well. I want them to enjoy themselves, and people generally enjoy themselves when they're competitive. Maybe not necessarily win, but at least be competitive. You don't want to blow new people out of the water with new games. So yeah, that's one thing that people seem to have a gripe about, is sometimes they're not as balanced as maybe they should be. And like I said, I don't really care too much about that. Uh, Another reason why some people seem to not like them, and this is a completely not understandable reason for me, is people say their games are overrated. I don't understand why people hate games when that they just think are other people think are good. So they think, maybe they think Wingspan's just all right, or maybe they think it's not even that good of a game. Maybe they think it's a bad game, but other people like it. So then those people who don't like it tend to pile on the hate even more. Like they double down. They're like, "Oh, this is the worst game ever," even when they think maybe it's just not. Maybe it's just an okay game. They're mad that other people seem to like that. I do not understand when people hate on things that other people enjoy. Like it's board gaming. It's a very silly hobby. We're supposed to be having fun. Who cares if one person likes the game and one person doesn't? There are plenty of games in my gaming group even that I like that other people don't like, or I don't like and the other people like. It's not a big deal. I mean, it's board gaming. Like, who cares really? But there's people that just hate on it because they say it's so overrated. And I mean, Stonemaier games are very popular. So people seem to get annoyed that they're so popular. If they don't like Stonemaier games, they seem to just be very annoyed by it for some reason or another. But in my opinion, let people enjoy the things that they enjoy. Why is it a big deal? And a third reason why some people don't like Stonemaier Game or hate on Stonemaier Game is the man himself that runs Stonemaier. That's the head of the company. That's the face, and that's Jamie Stegmaier. Some people, I mean, not like a huge part of people, but some people seem to not like him that much. Uh, and I will get back to that here, but I'll just say that some people don't seem to like him very much. And that's a small vocal minority of people. But not everybody's going to like everybody in anything we do in life. There's people that don't like me, and there's people I don't particularly like. But I think we should all be able to get along and stuff like that. And he seems to be a nice person, as far as I can see. So those are some reasons why I think some Stonemaier games get hated on. Now let's go to some reasons why I think Stonemaier gets loved on, why they're such a popular company. And I'll double back right back to Jamie Stegmaier himself. I said some people don't like him. A lot of people do like him. They like how upfront he is about the Stonemaier company. He's very upfront about the business side of things, his relationships with certain people in the businesses, stuff like that. There's not a lot of companies that are more upfront than Jamie Stegmaier is with Stonemaier. So I think a lot of people like him. And another thing that I seem to like about him, he does have his own YouTube channel where he posts very regularly. Jamie Stegmaier is a big board gamer. He is in the hobby. He plays tons and tons of games, and he talks about tons and tons of games other than his own games. He does do his, self promotion of Stonemaier games on there as well, and he's very good at promoting his games. Stonemaier Games, they are an event when Stonemaier Games comes out, and I attribute that to Jamie Stegmaier himself. He's very good at his job. But the thing that I like is, like I said, he is a board gamer, and he'll talk about other board games. He'll promote other board games that aren't his own board games. So I think that's one reason why people like Stonemaier Game or love Stonemaier Game even is because of Jamie Stegmaier. Second reason, they have excellent production quality of their stuff for Stonemaier Games. I think in days past, it was Days of Wonder. That was the upper echelon of these are the best production quality games in the business. I think Stonemaier is is that company, or one of them, I should say. But all of their stuff is very high quality. They do not skimp on quality of their products. They've had a couple mishaps with certain production things, like in Tapestry, the buildings they had issues with the buildings not being square, and they just didn't really make too much sense for that. And they also had a production thing with Red Rising recently. But I mean, they put a lot of money into their quality of their product, and games that look nice, they play better. Let's be honest, you're gonna like playing a game that looks nice more than a game that doesn't look nice. So yeah, they put a lot of money into their product. The third reason, and the final one that I'm going to be talking about, why people like them, is just their games are. I think they're very distinct. There's If they come out with a game, people want to play that game because there's a good chance that game is going to blow people away. Not all their games are amazing, but they have had some mega hits, such as Wingspan, Viticulture, Scythe, Tapestry was pretty big. But they just have good games that resonate with people more so than some other companies do. And like I said, I like quite a few of Stonemaier games, and like particularly those four games made my top 100 list when I made that just a month ago or so. So they're just they're good games. They're good mechanical games, and games that are good mechanically combined with how high quality their production is. It just makes for a good game overall. And so those are the three reasons why I think people love them. So I balance the hate with the love, and I think you would have a hard time convincing me anyway that Stonemaier is bad for the board gaming hobby. I think they are great for the hobby. In fact, they get a lot of eyes on this hobby that otherwise wouldn't. Wingspan has sold so many copies around the world in places that don't sell board games. They were in like a Better Homes and Garden uh, magazine a few months back, I believe, or maybe like it was last year even. So there's a lot of places that people are getting their eyes on the board gaming hobby, and it's because of Stonemaier Games. So I mean, I think that's great, and they even if you don't like their games, I think they are good for the hobby. But that'll be done with this rambling. It's time for me to finish my coffee. But if you did enjoy this video, make sure to like and subscribe to see more weekly content from me, Shane, at the board meeting in the future. Hope you all have an amazing day. Take care, everyone.